The Rosen Report, sports like never before. Brought to you by Gooch Live and Paramount Sports Management. Here's Rosie.
Good afternoon on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. I'm in Aurora, Ontario. I don't know where you are, somewhere in the world. I hope you're happy that you're tuning in to the Rosen Report on a beautiful Thursday. First of all, thank you to the Fanshawe Kid, Jordan LaRoche, for another great job producing. We might even call Jordan up to get his opinion on a couple of things. One of my favorite guests, I've had him on the show probably 117 times, which is kind of cool because we haven't done 117 shows. Jamie Maguire from Maguire Goaltending. I say it every single time. If you've got a young boy, a young girl, if you're an older person that just wants to learn how to play goaltending, the position of goaltender, call up Jamie Maguire from Maguire Goaltending. This guy is the absolute best. I put my reputation of knowing the game on the line. Gold medal in Torino in 2006, World Championships. Everything I won came from the knowledge that I received from Jamie Maguire, Maguire Goaltending. I say it every time, and I will say it as long as I have the opportunity to say it. So keep doing that, people out there. Anyways, we'll bring them up in a second. I got to do my rant right now. I'm really disturbed on the way things are going. Look at that new thing we have up there, Rosie's Rant, brought to you by Christian Brothers. I love it, absolutely love it. Thanks, Jordan, for that. And Gooch, if you're watching, you probably had something to do with that. But anyways, here's my rant. The IPC and the World Championships are going on right now. I should be there in Ostrava in the Czech Republic, calling the games with Alan March. We called them 2 years ago. Unfortunately, due to COVID regulations, I could not be in Ostrava calling the games. Alan's calling it he's somewhere in Europe. I'm not sure exactly where. And Jono is in England. But the preliminary round ends, and I want to tell you this. This is so. A pool. Canada ends up 3-0. The United States 2-1. Korea 1-2. The Czech Republic 0-3. The B pool. Russia, who are back. They're a very good squad. They're back from the suspensions. They're 3-0. Norway 2-1. Slovakia 1-2. Italy has had a terrible time. They're 0-3. So now we go to tomorrow. Today's the day off. Tomorrow, the 7-8 game is Italy and Slovakia. The loser gets relegated. The winner stays in the 8 pool. 5 and 6 game is Norway and the Czech Republic. 5 teams out of the 8 automatically get a bye to Beijing in March. The 6th spot is already put into China, who are the host team. The host always gets a spot in the games. They're in. So then 7 and 8, they will go into a probably in November. There'll be a tournament of probably 4 or 5 or 6 countries for those 2 spots. So that's there. So the 4 teams we have to go into the semis are Canada, Russia, the USA, and Korea. So you would think that Canada, because they're 3-0 in the A pool, Russia 3-0 in the B pool, they would get the worst team of the 4, Korea. United States would get Russia. But no. That's not how it works in the IPC and the way things work. This is how it works. Canada plays Russia. The 3-0 team and the 3-0 team play each other in the semi. The 1-2 team and the 2-1 team, United States and Korea, they play. So United States is going to beat Korea. That's given. If Korea beats the United States, I will run naked down Yonge Street. It's not going to happen. But Canada plays Russia. 2 incredible teams. And I just found out that because, forget the 3-0 in A pool, B pool, Russia is getting home ice last change because they had a better goal differential because they beat Norway 19-1 because Norway's brutal. So I'm going to take this book and I'm going to throw it in the garbage because I just don't get it. But I'll tell you one thing. Canada-Russia is going to be a great game tomorrow, and Canada has to beat Russia and then beat the States. They've got their work cut out from them. Boys, if you're listening to me, Tyler McGregor, great captain. Dominic Larocque, who will be in goal. I was going to say Jamie Maguire. He's not on the team. Billy Bridges, one of my favorites, Greg Westlake, my roommate for years. Go out there, boys, and show them that the game of para ice hockey is not kumbaya, let's hold hands and sing songs. Let's play the best, play the best. You got it? Doesn't make sense. Canada, go get them. You guys can do it. Marshall Starkman, he's the general manager of the team. Love him. Great guy. Going to have him on the show soon. He says silly rule. It is a silly rule. It doesn't make sense. Canada was 3-0 in the 8th one. I'm getting upset here. They should not be playing Russia. Boys, whoever is on the committee doing this, Canada should be playing Korea. It is a mockery. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to get high blood pressure from this. Boys, go out and do it. And just do it for Canada. Do it for yourselves. I loved my years with Hockey Canada and with the Canadian team. Jamie Maguire, come up and calm me down for a second.
All right, first, yeah, please calm down. But first, I want to shout out to Marshall Starkman. I haven't seen him for years, but we grew up playing against each other. Marshall's a goalie, and he played in Thornhill, and I played in Richmond Hill. We're both born in '70, so it's quite a small world. I saw his name pop up on the screen.
Yeah, Marshall was the general manager. There he is. But we were ready.
There you go.
Yeah, of course. And Marshall's the general manager of the team and does a hell of a job. All the boys that I'm still buddies with say he is an incredible general manager. We'll get him on a round table with you, James.
That'd be great. I'd love to talk to him again.
So real quick, because you coach the amputee standing team, you know the way sometimes these rules work. Make sense out of that. Canada's 3-0 in the A pool. Russia's 3-0 in the B pool. And the A pool and B pool, how it works is at the end of the rounds, Canada and the U.S., 1 and 2 in the A pool get a bye. So Canada and the U.S. didn't have to play in the quarters. Then they make the 2 teams in the A and the 4 teams in the B. So there's a big difference. And the only reason Russia was in the B and not the A because they were suspended for a couple of years. They came back. But how does that happen? And then Russia gets the home ice advantage because their goal differential. Because listen, if Canada played Norway, they would have beat them 42-1, not 19-1. Help me out.
Well, I can't. Your question was make sense of it, and I can't make sense of it. But at the end of the day, if I'm the coach standing in that dressing room or the general manager, Marshall, talking to the coaching staff, it doesn't matter because you got to beat Russia anyways to win a gold medal. So you're just playing them a game early, but you still have to beat them.
Okay. But
because it is what it is. You can't change it.
I know. I get it. Hold on a second here because I'm getting upset here. Not at you, but at Canada, with the way they play and the way they are and what they've earned by beating the U.S. in game 1, 2-1, they should not have to play Russia and then the U.S. They should at least get one of the easier games like Korea. U.S. gets Korea in the semi, and then we'll have a tough gold medal game against Russia or Canada. But Canada shouldn't have to play Russia and then the U.S. That's horrendous. Well, why end up 3-0?
I hear you. I hear you.
Let's forget about it because I'm going to just get up and I want to work the games eventually again. Hopefully I'll be on the microphone with Alan March in Beijing in March and call the games. I would have loved to have been there now, but unfortunately with the rules, we weren't allowed to have broadcasters in the building. So I will watch the game on the internet like everybody else and cheer for my boys in Canada. Dominic Larocque, you'd be proud of this kid, man. He has come a long way as a goaltender. Probably, in my opinion, the best goalie in the world. Anyways, let's talk hockey. Let's talk NHL hockey right now, Mags. First, let's talk goaltending. Since you kind of know a little bit about goaltending.
A bit.
I am the goalie that I am because of you. I know you don't like to take that credit, but it's 100%. It's a fact. Facts are facts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk about. First of all, Vegas. So Fleury's playing. He's playing great. He has a terrible gap in that one goal behind the net. It bounces off him. Things happen. I've had things happen to me like that in big games. They decide to go with Robin Lehner in game 4. He plays amazing. They win in Montreal. They go back to Fleury in game 5. Fleury doesn't play bad, but Montreal dominates and wins the game. I haven't heard tonight what's going on. I think they're going back with Fleury, but what would you do?
I think it was a brilliant move, to be honest with you. Fleury needed a rest, and it was a risky move because Leonard had come in early on and not played well. He let in 7 goals in that Colorado series, if you recall. So it was a risky move that paid off, and I think it was brilliant. It wasn't about Fleury not being good enough or they're going to switch for the rest of the playoffs. I don't believe. It was just simply about giving him a rest, letting him refocus, regroup, start over, and then Leonard goes in and plays brilliantly. So it worked out quite well. But I have to believe, they haven't announced it yet, but I have to believe they're going back with Fleury tonight. I mean, goalies make mistakes. That's what we do. Yeah. You know, we let goals in, and unfortunately, playoffs, bad timing. But he goes behind the net, and it happens to goalies. It doesn't mean he's had a bad playoff or he should be gone.
Yeah. I just looked at the NHL.com and they have Fleury as the starter.
Confirmed?
Now it says confirmed, but that doesn't mean that Pete DeBoer could change his mind anytime before they have to put the roster in. It's up to him.
Yeah, but I think they go with him.
It looks confirmed. What's the key to beating Carey Price? This guy is on a roll. If you at this point don't think he is the best goalie in the world, or at least best Canadian goalie in the world, you got a problem. What does Vegas have to do, Jamie?
See, the thing with Carey Price is it's very difficult to beat him on a straight shot. So what you've noticed is Vegas is trying to move him before they shoot the puck. So, they'll either pass quite often or they'll move across the top of the crease or top of the circles and throw a puck at the net. But he is so efficient and his movements are so smooth that, Carey Price makes it look easy because he is able to get from here to here quicker than the guy can release the puck. And because of that, more pucks hit him. Whereas Fleury is a little bit more scrambly. Jack Campbell is a little bit more scrambly. But if you look at Carey Price, he is just so efficient. And that's why he'll also have a long career, because it's not as hard on his body. But you know what? How can you explain when somebody's just in his zone? He's in his zone right now. And, I think Montreal is going to be really tough to beat. Goaltending is so much about confidence and belief and believing in yourself. And as is, pitching or being a quarterback, but so much so with a goaltender, and if you start to question things like maybe Fleury's doing right now, then it becomes a little more difficult for you. But the confidence that Price has at this moment is unbelievable. I think he's going to be tough to beat.
I agree with you. And, I go back to some of the games I had, and in my mind, I always remember those big games against Norway or the United States on the world level. In my mind, those words, you got to forget about that last one. Forget about that. Just always put that mind on the next shot and the next save. And Jordan, the producer, just the Fanshawe kid, we love him, just wrote up, not confirmed, but it is believed that they're going with Leonard.
Interesting.
I don't know. I didn't see or hear that. I just looked on the NHL site, and it's got Fleury there. So maybe, Jordan, if you want to pop up for a second and explain that to us, if you can.
Yeah, just I checked around a couple of places, covered on Twitter a little bit as well. But again, nothing's confirmed yet. So Leonard was in the starting net at practice this morning, and he was the first one off the ice as well. So
usually the first one off the ice is the one getting the rest, going to the trainer's room, and he's the one that's playing that night. I guess the NHL website I looked on that had Fleury there is so saying that. Let's get from both you. What's the pressure if Leonard does go in? What's that pressure on Leonard like? He is more of a square to the puck, getting big, and he's not very flexible, flipping around. Can he do it again the way he played in Game 4 and take Vegas back to Vegas? Jamie?
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, they signed Leonard 5 years, $25 million for a reason. Because he's a starting goaltender in the National Hockey League. And I love the self-deprecating humor that he's been doing lately, saying I get to the rink 2 hours early so I can read all the Twitter feeds about you guys, telling me I can't do it. And it motivates me. And he's having a little bit of fun with it, but he's a number one goaltender in the NHL. Vegas is very fortunate that they have two.
Yeah, I agree with you. And he also, the one thing he said, it was 4 hours early, not 2 hours.
Oh, is that right? 4?
Which is insane. What's your thoughts, George?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. You can't do it again. Like Jamie said, he is a bona fide starting goaltender in the league. He's had a lot of success doing so as well. He had a couple of really good years in New York, I believe, and then in Chicago as well. So
He played great in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, he's as good as anyone in the league, I think. I see no issue with him starting tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was with the drafted by Ottawa, went to the Islanders, had his fame with the Islanders, then over to Chicago, and then signed the big deal with Vegas. Let me ask you a quick question, both of you, on Leonard. Let's just say the Vegas gods are working perfectly. Leonard stands in his head. They win tonight. Can you not go away?
No, you have to run.
Vegas has to play. Leonard has to play Game 7, correct?
Yeah, I believe you run with him. It was Fleury's to keep.
Yeah,
he got a rest, and people thought, maybe they're going to go with Leonard again. But I believe DeBoer did the right thing. Right. But Fleury lost. I would probably start Fleury again. But I haven't coached a team with the luxury of 2 number 1 goaltenders.
Right.
So if Leonard wins tonight, I think it's his to ride.
Yeah.
Jordan, how can you not?
Yeah, I totally agree with Jamie there. I mean, again, it's tough on Fleury though. That's the only thing. He had such a great year. He's been really good in the playoffs as well, and I don't want to say this diminishes it at all, but I think it might be weighing on Fleury a little bit.
I agree.
That's the best way I can put it.
I agree.
Sure, and
it's kind of very. Sorry, James. It's kind of very similar to when Fleury was in Pittsburgh, and they gave Murray the chance, and Murray played great, and they rode Murray to the Stanley Cup championship. So I think you're right. If Leonard loses tonight, they're done. It's season's over. If Leonard wins, they ride him, and maybe Fleury gets back in the next round if it goes to the next round. But let me ask you this question. If Leonard wins tonight and they ride Leonard, is that the end of Fleury in Vegas? Do they look to trade him in the offseason? Because the rumor was they tried very hard this year to trade him to Pittsburgh, and it fell through. Jordan?
That's tough. I mean, just having those 2 number 1 goalies is just so nice. It almost settles the team down a little bit. You can go with either guy, and you know that they're both going to play well. In terms of Fleury, I kind of just feel bad for the guy, right? With everything that happened to Pittsburgh with Matt Murray, and then being shipped to Vegas, and now what's happening with Robin Leonard. I mean, I like to see Fleury be a starter somewhere, but hopefully that's Vegas. But again, we'll have to wait to see.
Perfect. Jamie, thoughts?
At the end of the day, if there's any other backup, Fleury's starting tonight. They just ride him. And he's a team player, but enough is enough. Literally, I think 29 out of 32 teams, he plays this game tonight, and there's no question because they don't have enough confidence in the backup goaltender. I wouldn't be surprised if he, if Leonard continues to play, if he walks. He's a little bit older than Leonard is anyways. Vegas signed Leonard because they want him to be the future goaltender. I wouldn't be surprised if he asked to get moved. And you got to understand, it was tough last year because he didn't have a good year. Right. But he's going to win the Vezina this year. Yeah. So there will be a market. There will be a market for Fleury. Wouldn't it be nice to see him in Toronto?
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Maybe the Seattle Kraken.
I don't think he's as good as Hutch, but I'm just saying.
They opened the door just a Kraken for. See what I did there?
I saw that.
Okay, let's end with this series on predictions tonight. I've been wrong on almost every game, so I am going to say that I said last night that Vegas would win 3-0 and Fleury would stand in his head, and Montreal won 4-1. So I am going to say that Montreal finishes the series off with a 3-2 incredible game in overtime. Jordan, prediction for tonight?
I think I'm gonna go 2-1 Montreal. Sorry, I'll go 3-1 with an empty net goal in there.
All right, 3-2 for me, 3-1 for you, James.
I don't know if I'm going to pick a score, but what I would tell you is all right, fine. Then I'm 3-2. I'm the same as you. Maybe, you know what, 4-2 with an empty netter. The leadership Montreal has with Weber and Perry and Price and Toffoli and Stahl, it's unbelievable. You know, that's the biggest difference between what the Leafs went out and did and what Montreal went out and did. The Leafs signed a whole bunch of guys that had never won, and thought, you know what, they're going to want it so bad that you know, they'll take us to the next level because they just want to dig deep and finally win. Whereas Montreal went out and got Weber and Perry. Weber hadn't won a cup, but Toffoli and Stahl, all Stanley Cup winners.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I don't know. And yes, Perry's better than Thornton, but still, Toronto's, the way they looked at it is so different than the way Montreal did. And obviously it's paying off. So I think Montreal wins tonight. Okay.
So let's see. We got 3-1, 3-2, and 4-2, all for Montreal. So that means Vegas is going to win 7-0. Let's go to, hey guys, let's go. Jordan, are you okay to stay up with us?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So let's go to the Islanders in Tampa. I am really proud of that New York Islander team, and they came in with all the pressure in the world, lost 8-0, potentially the last game ever in the Coliseum, which there's been some incredible New York Islander teams, you know, win 4 in a row, unreal. And it was a tough game. They went down 2-0 and come back to win it on a terrible giveaway in the D zone, 3-2. Thoughts on that game last night and what Game 7 has to bring us, Jamie?
Wow, last night. The character that the Islanders showed, it's mind-blowing. See, you go down 2-0 in a game like that, and it is so easy to give up. It's so easy to just kind of, oh my God, here we go again. But they didn't, and they kept plugging. And Varlamov played really, really well, and they just kept going. Like, my hat's off to them. That is an unbelievable win last night. The situation, the pressure, the home crowd, it would have been easy for them to fold, and they didn't. And I think, Game 7, it's a coin toss.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jordan.
I think Tampa's the better team. Tampa's the better team.
Yeah,
I think New York could pull off an upset.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Tampa's a better team from top to bottom, but it's one game. You're now to Olympic gold medal. It's one game. Anything can happen. And we'll get into the referees next, but they could be a part of this, which you know how much I love the referees. Jordan, thoughts on what we just talked about?
Yeah, it was incredible because Gooch and I were talking when Tampa Bay was up 2-0, and I said there was no way I thought the Islanders could score 3 goals on Vasilevsky in the amount of time they had. And, just it was a true team win. Everyone kind of came together. They got a lot of offense from different places. Beauvillier had a really nice goal in overtime. And that goal kind of just emulates everything that the Islanders are doing right now. Hard work, forechecking, good two-way hockey, and Beauvillier picking the pass off and just burying that shot was that was a great goal.
Yeah. So we won't be on tomorrow. So I'm going to ask you guys quick to end this one. How does Game 7 go? I'm going to say that I don't know how and I don't know why I'm going to do this, but I think somehow one game the Islanders are going to do it. We haven't announced whether Kucherov will be in the lineup in Game 7 or not, but I say the Islanders win 2-1 in an insane Game 7. Your prediction for tomorrow, Jordan?
I'll go 3-2 overtime for Tampa Bay. As badly as I want the Islanders to win, especially with this is the last year they'll be in Nassau Coliseum as well. So they do have a lot of riding on this, but I think Tampa Bay is just a little too strong.
Wow. Jamie?
5-1 Tampa. It's not even close.
Wow.
I think that Vasilevsky, has a rebound game. He is the best goalie in the world right now, I believe, and consistently over the last few years. And I think he has a solid game, and I think that offense explodes in Game 7, like they did a few games ago when they won, I think, 8-0.
Yeah.
5-1 Tampa.
So you got 5-1 Tampa, Jamie. George, you got 3-2 Tampa in overtime, and I've got 2-1 Islanders. Wow. Okay. All right. So we've got that, and then we'll discuss the Stanley Cup final when we get to it. We may have to discuss a Game 7 on the weekend of the of the Vegas Golden Knights and the Montreal Canadiens, although the Montreal fans don't want to hear that.
Oh,
let's talk refereeing, guys. We've got a few minutes left. Everybody knows I'm not a fan of the referees. If a referee's really good, I'll give him his credit, but I haven't seen too many really good referees. Jamie, what's your thoughts? You played a long time. You've coached at a high level. When a referee decides to, whether it's psychologically he decides to or he's just not good, take the game into his own hands, what does that do to a team?
It's such a fine line because this has been going on for years and years and years. Everybody always says, oh, he's a good player, but just wait till the playoffs. It's different. It's tougher. It's harder. It's grittier. That wouldn't be called in the playoffs, people say. And so it's not really much different than it has been in the past. That was a blatant cross-check that was missed last night. Even Stamkos getting pushed into the boards, he didn't go in too hard, but that was ridiculous as well. Listen, somebody's going to get hurt, but it's not the refs so much as it's the NHL who is saying you got to let some of this stuff go. And for years, they've been letting that go in the playoffs. So I think we'd be shocked if they started calling some of that stuff in front of the net or on the boards. We'd be going, oh my God, can you believe they're not letting them play? So, I don't think the refs can win in this situation. It's being dictated from above to let the guys play. But I think it went a little bit too far with the cross checks over the last few days.
Yeah, I agree. Jordan?
Yeah, I see someone did get hurt with Kucherov as well last night.
Yeah.
He never came back, and there's no update on him yet either. But my main issue with it is they're not really calling the black and stuff that's black and white, the trips, the hookings, that's almost clear cut. If someone goes down with stick at his feet, that's a trip. But they're calling a lot of things that that fine line you were talking about, Jamie, where a team might cross it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's not as black and white as say a trip would be, and there's not a lot of consistency going on. I mean, the biggest thing I saw was a couple of games when Nick Suzuki got punched in the face. You probably saw the most blatant look away that I've ever seen in my life. So,
yeah. Well, you know what? It reminds me real quick of I was the MC at the opening banquet of the 2007 Royal Bank Cup in Prince George, British Columbia, where the Aurora Tigers, shout out Jerome Dupont and the Aurora Tigers, won the Royal Bank Cup. And I had to introduce the players and the reps and the management. And I interviewed the reps and I asked the crowd, I said, what's the difference between the referees at the 2007 Royal Bank Cup and Ray Charles? And people are going, I don't know. And I go, Ray Charles knows he's blind. Boom, damn. Anyways, I didn't make friends with the refereeing committee, but I really don't care. Guys, let's end the show off on what makes me very proud right now, the World Championships in Para. They have now set, no matter what happens in the semis and finals, Canada will be in. Obviously, we know that they will be in the Paralympic Games in Beijing, China in March. Hopefully, I'll be there, captained by the great Tyler McGregor and incredible players, young players like Rob Armstrong, and just what an incredible organization coached by Ken Babby. But that reminds us that the Olympics are coming. They are coming to Beijing in February, the Olympics before the Paralympics. Right now, if Tom Rennie comes to you, Jamie Maguire, and to you, Jordan LaRoche, and says, who's our goalies? Can it be anybody other than Carey Price, Jordan?
No, I mean, they're going to take him. They'll probably take, my guess would be Fleury just after the year he's had this year. And they're going to bring a young guy, Carter Hart or Jordan Bennington. But the number one guy, it's always going to be Carey Price.
Yeah. Jamie?
There are no other options for number one. I mean, you're talking about Marc-Andre Fleury, Darcy Cooper, Mike Smith. They're not going to bring him. Binner, Matt Murray, Carter Hart. Carey Price is above and beyond those goaltenders right now, I believe. I think Marc-Andre Fleury would back him up. And then they have to bring a young guy. But who are they going to bring? Is it going to be Binnington, Hart, or Murray? That's the question right now.
I got an idea. Sorry to interrupt you, but I got an idea, and I'm terrible with this name. What about the kid that played from the Quebec League, who played in the World Junior team? He played amazing in the World Juniors. He wore number 29. I think he's a French kid. I can't remember his name. What about somebody like that as a third-string goalie who you're not going to play anyways, but, man, are you going to learn?
Yeah, but the risk there is he hasn't had any NHL success. It doesn't mean he may not even be around 4 years from now. You know, the reason they bring a young goalie is so that he can step in 4 years, you know, and take over at that point, or maybe 8 years. But an unproven goaltender, it's never going to happen. I mean, I would take any of those other guys over him.
Really?
I think it's Price, Fleury, and who knows, Matt Murray or Carter Hart.
Well, I take Matt Murray before I take Carter Hart, because
Carter Hart played himself out of a position.
Yeah. What he did last year was beyond, and I don't know, maybe something's going on with him mentally. There's a lot of stuff that happens to players. Thank God, players like Robin Lehner are coming out and saying, you know, I have mental health issues. And you might only see me as this great goaltender, but when the game ends and I go back to my hotel room and I think about killing myself and different things, you know, I had that all the time, Jamie. You know, we'd have a great game and beat the U.S. 2-1, and 10,000 fans would go crazy, and I'd be in my room wondering, is tonight the night? Is tonight the night I kill myself? Like, so maybe there's something going on with him. I don't know, but I guess last word to you, Jordan. Sum up where we are right now in hockey. How happy are you that we're playing and that the games are so competitive?
Yeah, like these playoffs have just been incredible to watch. Every game is just fast-paced hockey, hard-nosed hockey. This is the best time of year. We're about less than a week away from the Stanley Cup Finals. Who can't be excited about that? So,
yeah, Jamie, same question to end it like that.
Just the Montreal Canadiens are a good example for a number of different things. They're playing a tremendous defensive style of hockey, but for kids who are you know, playing the game and learning the game, one of the things I would always say is get the puck to the net. Get the puck to the net. I saw something the other day. Montreal's last 7 goals have come within 7 seconds of crossing the blue line. Think about that. They've got one with 7 seconds, 4, 3, 5, 4, 3, 6. You get the puck to the net. Most goals are scored less than 10 seconds after crossing, but get the puck to the net and good things can happen. That's an amazing thing. You know, last 7 goals within 7 seconds of crossing Vegas's blue line. So they're getting the puck to the net.
So they're shooting right away. They're not coming in, being fancy, dipsy doodling, you know, cycling this and that. They're going boom right at the net hard. I love that. So I guess my last thing to anyone out there, if the Montreal Canadiens should win tonight, to all you Toronto Maple Leaf fans out there, and to you, Jamie, and all the Leaf fans out there, there always is next year. Don't go to the viaduct and jump off the bridge. It's not worth it. Okay, the Canadiens might win, and it might be the worst thing that ever happened to you. A diehard Leaf fan to watch the Canadiens win the Cup. But I'm telling you, there is, as Annie said in the great musical, the sun will come up tomorrow. Anyways, okay, boys, thanks a lot. James, we'll have you on real soon again. Love your perspective.
No problem.
Maguire goaltending, give him a call. And Jordan, thank you so much, buddy.
No worries.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. First of all, I always love Jordan coming up because he's not just a producer. He is a young kid who knows what he's doing. Shalane Havs will take it tonight. She's on her way with her son Aaron to might even be in Montreal right now, watching the game from their hotel room. Have a great time tonight, and the Habs probably will take a night. And if they do, they deserve it. And my friend Dave Blackie, who loves the Canadiens, he's a diehard. Hope they win so he can celebrate. But other than that, it will be a great game tonight. If you get a chance, go on the IPC's website, the Team Canada's website, Hockey Canada, and watch Canada play Russia tomorrow our prayers and thoughts will be going with every single player, the young guys to the older veterans, my dear friend Billy Bridges and Greg Westlake, who have been on the team for 1,000 years. Great management in Marshall Starkman, great coaching in Ken Babby, and Dominic Larocque, best goalie in the world, in my opinion. Keep him out, brother. Stay strong. Take care of each other, and God bless.
You've been listening to the Rosen Report, sports like never before, with your host, Rosie. Brought to you by Gooch Live and Paramount Sports Management.